If you own a television, this video is for you. Now, I'm not a tech channel. I don't really get into all that, but I found this awesome life hack. I do talk about movies all the time, so if you're into movies and physical media, that's what I'm into. But this life hack, it works for everybody. First off, what happened to modern electronics? The remotes are so tiny. I can't tell you how many times I've lost them in the sofa cushions for days. It's very frustrating to find these things. And this isn't just like some weird rant or anything, but it's just my personal experience. The last two TVs I bought had extremely tiny remotes. This is the Sony remote for the TV that I have now, and it has some smart features, but it doesn't have the features that we used to have. And it's missing all the buttons, and then just the size of the remote is very tiny. It constantly gets lost. This is the Blu-ray remote that I had for the original 4K Blu-ray player, another Sony. It's super tiny. It does have a lot of the smart features. There's other smart devices that I have connected to the TV that I use for that instead. But this one here is something that I would constantly fiddle with in the dark, and then I would hit the wrong button, and next thing you know, instead of watching the Blu-ray movie, we're watching Netflix. And I don't have Netflix because I don't do the streaming services. This is just a thing that's very frustrating to me. It's something that's really been grinding my gears for a long time. And then I bought the Panasonic UB9000. This is the remote it came with. It even has a Netflix button. Some of the great features about this is there's a light, so I don't have to fiddle with it in the dark. And that just reminded me of when I was a kid and having to program the universal remote for my grandparents, and looking at the instruction booklet, most of the TV brands either had one or just a few codes, meaning that one remote would work on most of the televisions. So then I beelined it down to my local thrift store, and I picked up every Sony TV remote I could find. I even found this Blu-ray player remote. The difference in the size and the features, just a standard old Blu-ray player remote. It works on all the Sony Blu-ray players I have, but it also works on the 4K Sony and zero problems. Now, the features that it had, like going into Netflix or your favorites, that is found. One of these buttons actually clicks into that. I don't remember exactly which one it does, but it does. And then replacing this Sony remote, I was able to use this one, and the home button or the menu button goes right to the apps, no problem. But then I was able to use this old Sony remote. I can't even remember seeing a remote this size back in the day, but this Sony remote works on every single TV in the house. And not only do I have the modern 4K TV, I have some old HD LCDs that I picked up really cheap, and I have some really old CRT tube televisions, and this works on every Sony TV that I have in the house. Also, this remote works. This is a Sony DVD player remote, but it has the TV functions, and all those functions work perfect. Now, I don't have all my TVs hooked up to the internet to use the smart features because that's just not for me. Like I said, I use other devices for that purpose. If you're really into it and you just have to absolutely have your TV connected to the internet and having that, all those features on your remote, this is the last resort. And I'm using a Logitech Harmony remote. This universal remote here, you're able to connect it to the internet and program it super easy. Now, just a few years ago, Logitech discontinued these remotes, but there are a few others that have taken its place. So an alternative would be a Sofa Baton. I believe it connects exactly the same way to the internet. You program it, super easy setup. Then there are several other universal remotes like Philips. I think RCA still makes those universal remotes, and you can get that feature and functionality because there's certain buttons that are completely programmable. So those are the life hacks that I found. Let me know in the comments down below if you even knew about this or something you're going to try out. But with that, watch a movie today, and I'll catch you guys next time.